Welcome back to A Minute with Chelsea. It's the Hobbit hikers' adventure across the West. We are saying goodbye to our prairie wagon today, and here is our photo that will forever live in infamy in the Moose Creek Ranch rec room. We did a couple of last photo shoots dressed up as the Prairie Women, Laura Ingalls and Pa and Ma Ingalls, or whoever you want to call us. And after we got all of our shit out of the wagon and put it back in the car, we filmed a little house tour, crib style. At least Shelby did. I think they're called speed tours. I don't know. I've only ever seen one of the videos, and Shelby was telling me all about it. All I know is that she accidentally turned the shower on herself as she was trying to do it, and I laughed so hard. Here it is in slow motion because I think you need to see it again. So our plan today, after we filmed all of our stupid content, is to pack up the car and then go down to Jackson Hole and have breakfast, and then head out on a 42-mile scenic drive across Montana, Idaho, Wyoming. I literally don't know where we are. All of this is happening in the background. Shelby is literally shooing me and saying, "Go on, get," with a broom as I'm telling you all of this. The wagon that I'm hugging right now is located in Victor, Idaho. I know that much. I know that Jackson Hole is in Wyoming, and I know that we're driving to Bozeman, Montana, and that's our final end goal. Also, we have so much shit. I did not realize how much we packed. I personally have 3 bags and 2 personal items. You know, my carry-ons, my backpack. But I'm pretty sure Annalise brought the entire store of Trader Joe's with us. And I'm so grateful for it because we had so many snacks and it was amazing. Also on the trip, the passenger side windshield wiper stopped working, so my view constantly looks like this no matter what we did. Look at all the shit in the back seat. We stopped at this overlook to take some pictures because we drove past this yesterday, but it was so cloudy, it's still really hazy. But it's kind of our last chance to do it, so we went ahead and got out anyway. The fires in California are making everything hazy and difficult to see, but it's coming all the way over to Wyoming. It's just a lot. I wish that things looked how they look in person on camera. Also, this is the guy that took our picture, and he has been traveling over 500 miles with this bike and a tent, and that's all he has on his person. And I was like, don't even look inside our car, sir. We stopped at Albertsons again so that we could get a couple more things before we left. I know Annalise wanted protein shakes and a couple more veggie straw snacks. I wanted some salty nuts and I needed some conditioner. I never even had to open that conditioner or the body wash that I bought yesterday, but I was so worried I was going to run out, I went ahead and just did it. We headed down to Jackson Hole to go get coffee and breakfast at a place called Cowboy Coffee. The line was out the damn door all the way into the street, and while my food was okay, I would not say that it was worth the wait. Annalise had like a milkshake for breakfast and hers was delicious. My coffee had coffee grounds all on the bottom and it was not made very well. It was kind of burnt tasting, and my breakfast sandwich was just subpar. It was okay. But I very much finished that entire coffee and made sure to appreciate every drop, even though it wasn't the best, because I knew that once we got to camp, iced coffee would no longer be a thing. Look at all those coffee grounds on the bottom. Then we walked around downtown Jackson Hole. We took some pictures of our butts under this elk thing. We touched butts and everything. When Annalise and I first met, we started calling each other elk ass. So we had to take some pictures by all the elk antlers and put our butts in it for elk asses. I'm working on a poncho like I've talked about, so I got a patch for that and I got a sticker for my water bottle. All of this national park stuff was super cute. Pretty much we're just doing souvenir shopping because I don't want to have to do it in Yellowstone. We wanted to ride this thing called the mountain roller coaster. It was a mountain coaster. We walk all the way up there and turns out it's not even working. It's out of order. We were all very, very sad because we were looking forward to this, but just in case you were wondering what it would have looked like, I went ahead and did some amazing Photoshop just for you. This is what it would look like had we actually gotten to ride the coaster. Woo! Yeah! Look, I'm me and I'm me again. I'm tiny me. We had such a fun time on the roller coaster. I hope you did too. Then it was time to start our 42-mile scenic drive around the Grand Tetons. Annalise ordered this thing. I forget what it was called, but it was a man, and he talked about things like where to go, where to turn off, where the best view is, and he'd be like, in the next mile, we're going to turn left. We stopped for snacks at one of the first pullouts because we were hungry. Breakfast just did not cut it. But anyway, the guy who was doing the audiobook tour was very amazing. He was like, this land belongs to blah, 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 but the white settlers. So he was very we liked him a lot. He also told us about all these glaciers on the Grand Tetons. There's 3 famous glaciers, but he was like, don't get used to them because they used to be a lot bigger and now they're tiny and they're not going to exist in the next 20 years because of climate change. I went behind this rock to take a picture and was like, hey, there's actual throw up back here. Someone puked everywhere. I want to die. It was probably a white settler. We blamed everything on the white settlers this entire trip. I mean, as you should, but after that man said it, we couldn't stop. I had a cracker in the car. It was delicious. It was called a trail mix cracker from Trader Joe's. It was so good. And finally, we saw some animals. These are bison. It's rutting season, meaning the males are very feisty. They're super horny. They're looking for a, and I quote, receptive female. And there's a baby bison crossing the road. They call the baby bisons red dogs because they have red fur. And yes, those people were way too close to them. We did not get that close. We are not stupid. I think this was the place I was the most excited to pull over. This was called Oxbow, and I wanted to go in there so bad because look how beautiful it is. The man doing the audio tour was like, this is the place you're probably gonna see the most wildlife. I saw a bee, but no animals because all the tourists there were screaming at the top of their lungs. I was like, why is everyone fucking yelling? You are outside. It is not time to yell at the lake. Shut the hell up. Why are we screaming? We took a couple little turns to go around and see like certain lakes and certain pull-offs, and that was time for me to play with my 360-degree angle camera. Jackson Lake Junction, don't know where the hell that is, but here's an elk. I swear to God, I spent this entire trip looking for animals and being confused about what state I was in. I have no clue where we are at any point. I was just there and having a good time. We drove past Jenny Lake again, which we'd already hiked by Jenny Lake, but now we're just driving past it. And then we finally entered Yellowstone National Park, which is in, I think, Montana or Wyoming. Oh my God, I know it's in 3 states. I don't know where we are. We stopped at the Continental Divide sign. We did not stop at the Yellowstone sign. There were too many people, but there was nobody here, so excellent. Also, I've never been at the Continental Divide sign before, so that was really cool. Sometimes I really struggle to feel like the way I feel on a hike whenever I'm in a national park, if that makes sense. There's so many people and there's so many sidewalks and there's so many things like cars and motorcycles. Whenever I hike in Arkansas, I'm very used to hiking in like a forest by myself. You can go anywhere in Arkansas and be completely alone because it's very rural here, like there's not a lot of people. So I feel very connected to nature when I'm here, but I don't feel very connected to nature whenever I'm seeing crazy shit like mountains and bison because there's too many people around. Also, we had a little disaster with things falling on Shelby in the backseat because of all of our shit. But yeah, I struggle sometimes with feeling like I'm actually on a trip when I'm on a trip. And I don't know if it's dissociation or if it's because there's so many people. Oh, now we're in Montana. Yay. And I really just try to be present. And sometimes I microdose just to try to feel like I'm here. Sometimes I garden, and sometimes I just try to be like mindful and present. Anyway, that's something I struggle with. So if you also struggle with that, you're not alone. We finally made it to Bozeman and we went to the Come On In. It's like a very woodsy looking rustic hotel, but it's very nice and very, very perfect inside. Annalise got us a suite with this giant jacuzzi tub in the middle. So if you take a bath, you're just tits out for everybody. I did not take a bath, but Annalise sure did. And then Sarah got there. Sarah met me over at Outback. Her hotel was on one side, then it was Outback, then it was our hotel. So we both picked up our Outback and then we walked over to my hotel because we're having jacuzzi time because our bodies are sore and tomorrow we camp in the cold. We had a great time until teenage boys threw gummy bears at my head.